Hi there. Today's story is called Winnie the Pooh and Tigger Too. And there's a picture of the book, and there's a picture of Winnie and Tigger. Winnie the Pooh is a bear, and Tigger is a tiger. Let's start this story because it's a long one, and I only have so much space. It's a cold day outside. I hope you're warm. I hope you got some warm jammies on, and your slippers and sockies, and maybe even a robe. Make sure you got a hat on like the old Opa. One morning, Winnie the Pooh was on his way to visit his friend Piglet. Although Pooh's head was stuffed with fluff, he was a cheerful fellow as he walked along through the woods. He was humming a song to himself. Pooh did not look where he Pooh did not look where he was going. All of a sudden, someone bounced into him. Pooh found himself flat on the ground. Tigger was sitting on his tummy. "Hello, Pooh," said Tigger. "It's a fine day for bouncing." There's Tigger bouncing on Winnie's stomach. Tigger helped Pooh get up. "Thank you, Tigger," said Pooh. "I was just thinking it's a fine day for going to visit Piglet." "I was on my way to see Rabbit," said Tigger, "but I will come along with you." And Tigger bounced away. Tigger bounced on ahead of Pooh. He bounced so fast and he bounced so far that he bounced right into Piglet. Here he is bouncing into Piglet. Tigger cried, "Piglet, you scared me." "I'm sorry," said Tigger. "Oh, excuse me." "Tigger!" cried Piglet. "You scared me." "I'm sorry," said Tigger. He helped Piglet get up. "Now I'm off to see Rabbit," said Tigger. "Well, why don't you and Pooh come with me?" And away he bounced again. Tigger bounced into Rabbit's garden. Rabbit was busy counting his carrots. Suddenly, Tigger bounced on top of him. "Hello there, Rabbit," said Tigger. "Tigger, you're a pest," cried Rabbit. "No, Tigger, he's bouncing into everybody today." When Pooh and Piglet reached the garden, they helped Rabbit to his feet. Rabbit was very angry at Tigger. "Why are you always so bouncy?" he cried. "Bouncing is what I do best," Tigger said, and he began to sing. "The wonderful thing about Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber and their tails are made of springs. They bounce, they trounce, they flounce, they pounce, full of fun, fun, fun. The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one." By the time Tigger bounced away, Rabbit's whole garden was ruined. Oh my God, look at the mess. Look at that mess. Boy. Later that day, Rabbit came up with a splendid idea for unbouncing Tigger. He told Pooh and Piglet about it. "We will take him on a long explore and leave him in the woods," said Rabbit. "When we go back to get him next morning, Tigger will not be so bouncy." "That's a splendid idea," said Piglet. "What do you think, Pooh?" But Pooh was sitting on a cozy chair and he had fallen half asleep. Piglet poked him. "I think it's a splendid idea," said Pooh, after Piglet told him about it. So, you can see we're sitting in Rabbit's house, and Pooh falling asleep on the chair a little bit. Well, the very next day, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet took Tiger into the woods. "When we come back to get Tigger tomorrow," said Rabbit, "the bounces will all be gone. There'll be a sad Tigger, a sorry Tigger. Oh, Rabbit, I'm so glad to see you, Tigger." Tigger bounced farther and farther away. He did not know about Rabbit's idea to leave him in the woods. Here he is. He's bouncing further and further away from his friends. I don't know. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think that'll stop Tigger from bouncing? Well, let's find out. The three friends found a hollow log. Quick, said Rabbit. Hide inside. They climbed into the log. Tigger soon came back to look for them. Hello, he called. No one answered. Tigger stood on top of the log, and he called to his friends again. They still didn't answer. They must be lost, thought Tigger, and he bounced away to find them. As soon as Tigger was out of sight, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet started home. After a while, they came to a sand pit. Something is wrong, said Piglet. I'm sure we passed by here before. Nonsense, said Rabbit. Keep walking. Soon they came to the sand pit again. I believe we're lost, said Pooh. We have been looking for home, but we keep finding the sand pit. Maybe if we start looking for the sand pit, we'll find our way home. Do you think that'll work? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's let Grandpa Opa keep reading. I'm sure I know the way, said Rabbit. You two wait here and I'll find it. Pooh and Piglet waited for Rabbit. They waited, and they waited, and they waited. But Rabbit didn't come back. At last Pooh took Piglet's hand. Let's follow my tummy, said Pooh. Whenever I get hungry for honey, my tummy leads me home. Sure enough, Pooh's tummy found the way. Just as they came out of the woods, Tigger bounced into them. Well, I'm glad they found their way, but there's Tigger still bouncing into people. Oh, Tigger, said Pooh. Rabbit is lost in the woods. Tiggers never get lost, said Tigger. I'll go back to find him. And he bounced away. Meanwhile, Rabbit was still all alone in the darkness. Part of the woods was the darkest part, and he was there. He was very, very lost. Every time he looked around, he thought he saw someone watching him. He heard all sorts of scary sounds. Oh my. There he is. He's lost in the woods, that old rabbit. Peck, peck, croak, sss, went the snake. Hoot went the owl. Chomp went something else. Oh, it was a grasshopper. Then the rabbit heard someone creeping in the bushes. Help, Pooh, help, Piglet, he shouted. There he is, lost in the woods with all those scary sounds, but they were only coming from regular animals. Suddenly he was bounced to the ground. Tigger, Rabbit cried, I'm so glad to see you. Well, Tigger led Rabbit out of the woods. Poor Rabbit. His splendid idea of unbouncing Tigger had not worked out very well at all. There's Tigger bouncing the old rabbit out of the woods. Bright and early the very next morning, Tigger went into Kanga's house. Kanga was busy sweeping the yard. May I take Roo for a walk with me? Asked Tigger. Of course, dear, said Kanga. There's Kanga sweeping the yard. Let's get that book up there. And obviously, Kanga's a kangaroo. As Tigger bounced along, Roo rode on his back. Can Tiggers climb trees? Asked Roo. That's what Tiggers do best, said Tigger. I'll show you. And there's little Roo bouncing on his back. Tigger found a tall tree and he bounced from branch to branch. He bounced up. Ooh, Tigger squealed Roo. He bounced higher. Ooh, Tigger, Roo squealed again. He kept bouncing higher and higher. Soon after they were near the top of the tree, when Tigger looked down, he was very scared. How did this tree get so high? He cried. Isn't it fun? Said Roo. No, answered Tigger. I forgot to tell you. Tiggers can't climb down. Hooray! Squealed Roo. We'll stay here forever. And there he is in the top of the tree. See him right there? Whoops, let's get back over there. There's Tigger up in the top of the tree with Roo. Just at that moment, Pooh and Piglet came by. They happened to look up the tree. Piglet, whispered Pooh, there's a jaguar. Are jaguars fierce animals? Cried Piglet. I'm not really sure, said Pooh. Let's walk a bit closer to see. Here they are. When Pooh and Piglet reached the tree, they saw Tigger and Roo near the top. Hello, called Roo. Tigger is stuck. Don't worry, Tigger, called Pooh. We'll get you out. Christopher Robin, he'll think of a way to rescue you. Oh, they're stuck up in the tree, and the guys are going to go get Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin's a little boy who happens to live near the woods. Before long, Christopher Robin appeared. He ran to the tree with Rabbit and Kanga. I do hope Tigger has learned his lesson, said Rabbit. Maybe he'll stop bouncing now. Christopher Robin took off his coat. He told everyone to hold on to a corner so Roo could jump into it. Oh, that was a good idea. There he is taking his coat off so that Tigger and Roo could jump into the coat. After Roo came tumbling down, Christopher Robin called up to Tigger. Now it's your turn to jump, he said. Tiggers don't jump, they bounce, said Tigger. But if I ever get down from here, I promise never to bounce again. Did you all hear that? Cried Rabbit. He promised to stop bouncing. Tigger closed his eyes and let go of the tree. Down, down, down he fell. He landed on the coat with such a thump that everyone fell backward. Tigger was happy to be down, and he started to bounce. There. There's Tigger falling down into the coat and everyone falling back. But Rabbit held up his hand. No bouncing, Tigger, he said. You promised never to bounce again. That's right, said Tigger. I did. Tigger began to walk away. Without his bounces, he was a very sad tiger indeed. He does look sad there, doesn't he? Roo watched his unhappy friend. I like the old bouncy Tigger better, he said. So do I, dear, said Kanga. So do I, said Pooh and Piglet. Everyone looked at Rabbit. Well, said Rabbit, so do I guess. Let me get a sip of my coffee here. Warm coffee on a cold day. Roo watched his unhappy friend. I like the old bouncy Tigger better, he said. So do I, dear, said Kanga. Oh, I read that part before, didn't I? Let's turn to the next page. All of a sudden, Tigger came bouncing back. Do you really mean it, Rabbit? He cried. May I have my bounces back? Yes, said Rabbit, I really mean it. Hooray, said Tigger, and off he bounced, happy to be his bouncy old self again. Well, there he goes, bouncing away. I think this was one of your mom's favorite stories, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to read it to you. So remember, stay warm, and today's cold enough, and tonight it's going to be really cold, so it's best to stay inside and warm with Mommy and Daddy. Well, this is the Opa. Until next time, I love you. Bye-bye.